Hi, it's Kerry from Mobilates, and we've got 30 minutes to fit in some gentle, calm, restorative activity in this time, which is often a little bit heightened. It can be really beautiful seeing people and preparing for it, but it can be a whole mix of things, a whole mix of emotions, a whole mix of feelings. So let's take this time out. Let's make it really nice for our bodies. You can move with me standing, you can move with me sitting, we can be lying down. We'll sort of mix all of these together, and I'll keep putting seated suggestions all the way through. So if you don't want to come to a lying down position, either on a mat on the floor or on your bed, if you take your duvet off and you can sit on the edge of your bed for the sitting positions, you can always stay just sitting, and we can go for it in all these different positions. So take your legs a little wider. See, I'm having a little rock from side to side, so I can feel my weight shifting foot to foot, and my hips shifting side to side. And then I'm going to find somewhere in the middle, just so I can rest. You might rock a little forwards and backwards, either on your feet or on your sitting bones if you're sitting down. And then find that place in between. When you're neither forwards nor backwards, turn your palms upwards. Breathe in, just gently through your nose, not a big breath, gentle in. And then out. All through your nose, in and out. In and out. One more, in and out. Move your legs a little closer together. Keep a gap between them, a bit like a space for a book. Have a little wiggle. I hope I've got some regulars here today. Do say if you're here and you're normally here today, how you're doing, how you're feeling. And if you're a newbie, say hello too. We could be making, new acquaintance and taking it into 2025. Arms down, palms back. Everything in a straight line on your arms. Breathe in. Breathe out. You're pushing the whole of the back of your arms and your palms back a little bit of effort. Breathing in, let them come forwards. Breathing out, let them come back. It's a bit like you're on an old-fashioned swing and there's a heavy chain or rod as your arms, and you can see it's pivoting at your shoulder. And as you pull back, let the breath pull your belly back a little, almost like there's cold air against it. Breathing in as you come forwards, making it bigger. Out as you go back. Trying to keep the rest of my body sitting or standing in this upright position. Last one. And then rest your arms against your legs or just at your sides. Just have a little wiggle out. Who's that coming to join us? Jean, Jackie, Irene and Christine all with us. Oh, hello ladies. Lovely to have you here. I would say it'd be nice if we had a glass of fizz or something on the sides, but we can pretend. Let's go into our pelvic tilt. Hands on your belly. You can see my thumbs here making this straight line. My fingers are making a triangle, and I'm right on my sort of lower belly, that bit there. Soften your knees if you're standing. Now you're going to breathe into your sides here, like you're trying to make your waist wider. And as you breathe out, pull back from your hands. As you breathe in, let your hands and your belly go forwards. Breathing out, pull back from your hands. Your belly's just retracting a little bit away. Breathing in, everything relaxes, softens and go forwards. Breathing out, going back. Breathing in, going forwards. One more. And then just starting to give your shoulders a little bit of a wriggle. Little circles. We're not quite there with the shoulders yet. We're just giving them a little bit of movement. It's going to do our head and neck next. Give the back of your head a tap, a scratch, something just to give it a little bit of a buzz at the back. Turn your head from one side to the other. That's it. And then turn your head to the sky, look up. Take it down, skimming over your chest. Looking up to the other side, breathe in. Breathe out, skimming over your collarbone and chest. Breathe in, look up the other side. Breathe out. Breathe in as you look up. And breathe out as you come back down. Coming, looking forward, sending an ear towards one shoulder. Chin comes back in the middle, ear towards the other shoulder. One more each side. And now making our shoulder movements a little bigger. So you might be arms both working together, and you can see, I'm trying to let the rest of my arms here just be really still and hang. So my shoulder joint is doing all the movements forwards and backwards. If you've got soreness on one side or both sides, taking alternate shoulder rolls, it just reduces it a little, but you're still getting some movement into your shoulder, but letting your arm really hang. And it might be it's much smaller, and that's the amount of movement you have. It also might be quite clunky. Shoulder joints, there's a lot of stuff going on there. There's a lot of bones connecting. So there tends to be more noises. There's more ligaments and tendons and muscles, all that's involved. That's it. And now wipe your feet like you've just come in from outside and you're getting everything off your feet, but we're warming our feet up. Place your feet down, lift your toes up and down. Your feet are a comfortable distance apart. Have a little rock forwards and backwards. You might be holding on to something. I'm trying to do it with a little bit of tension here and keeping my arms soft. Sometimes I do it more slightly, sinister rocking. I'm just trying to keep it soft in the arms today. And I'm just concentrating on what I can feel, that spongy feeling of the mat through my feet. Now we're going to take the weight to one side, just circling around the front of one foot, keeping your ankle with your leg. What I mean by that is not letting it whittle out each side. It's under your control. And then we're going to do the other side. We're going to do this one sitting. Oh, I could hear a little click from mine then. They do make a lot of noise. That's it. Right, now I want you to put your hands on your waist. We're going to do a ho, 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 but it's a ha, 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 like you're looking at cold breath on a really chilly day. So breathe into where your hands are at your waist, like you're wearing a belt around a great big jumper or a coat, Father Christmas, Mother Christmas style. So breathe into your hands. And now give me a on that last one, you're pulling your belly back from the cold. And then have a little wriggle. And we'll go for another. Breathe into your hands, sides of your waist, make them wider. Feel your belly pulling back. And now give it a wriggle. Give everything a little wriggle. If you're seated, I'd like you to take your legs close together and stick them together and just start to rock your feet like you're on a rocking chair. Arms at the side. If you're standing, I'd like your feet with a little gap between them. Could be a little bit bigger if you want a bit more balance, but your arms at your side. Just get that rocking first. I'm going to come into the center. And we're just going to get little tiny heel raises. And you don't want to be leaning forward, you want to be going up. That's it, up towards the sky. We're going to do a little fairy on the tree movement. So just having a little bounce up and down, and it's really small, but can you make it really bouncy? Now, slower and a little higher. Your ankles under control. This is when my ankles are not under control. So I'm just giving you a little demo there. I have to concentrate on them to keep them really nice and steady. Right, now the arms go up, and as we go down, we'll sprinkle a little bit of glitter. We're going to the top of the tree, fairy on the top of the tree, very high, and then sprinkle down. Going up, coming down. If you're seated, with the knees together, going up, coming down, squeeze together, going up, coming down, and then start to move your hands forwards and backwards on your legs if you're sitting. If you're standing, take your legs a little wider, and just starting to swish around. You might let your arms flop onto your body, or you might keep it soft and swishy. That's it. And then taking your legs wider. Shifting your weight from one side to the other. Now I'm just getting my feet back in shot. Feet are going outwards. Just in this little diagonal. And then we're going to send an arm first across. You can let your waist turn with you. If you're seated, you can push a hand across. And your weight shifts from one leg to the other. Watch that the knees aren't collapsing inwards. You might get one side trying to do it. So just a little outwards there. And if it feels too much, bring your legs in a little bit. Be a bit softer to yourself. And feel that you can push downwards. You might feel it through your feet, you might not. You might feel it more in your thighs. Now we're going to take it overhead, if that's okay for you. So we're trying to get a big, long diagonal line. You're pointing up towards the sky. That's it. Last one. And then we're going to take our arms down, nestle them in at the sides. So they're really snug in at the waist. And this is like imagining that you've got trays full of drinks. You could have champagne, little baby sham glasses, you know, something cute and decorative for this time of year. Right, we're serving, but we're very serious servers. We're going to look ahead, keep our bodies really still as our arms go out to the side with our tray of drinks on each hand. Like you're at some sort of cocktail party. I don't think I've ever been to a cocktail party in my life. Pubs maybe, but not cocktail parties. That's it. Now you're going to offer that tray of drinks outwards to people further away, and then bring it in. And then offer the other one out. Bring it in. Couple more. And then it's like you're going to do some fancy tricks. You know, if you see cocktail waiters and stuff like that, they throw things around, do fancy tricks. This one, we're going to offer our champagne out, or baby sham, or whatever it is, Prosecco. And then we're going to turn the tray over, turn it back up, bring it back. So the arm comes outwards, turn it over, bring it back. That's it. Lovely. And then we can do both arms together. We could even combine this with a little heel raise balance. If you're seated, bring your legs together. If you're standing, keep them as they are. So this time, as we go outwards and your arms reach out, oh, I nearly did it. Take yourself up, and swap around, hands down, and then take yourself down. That's it. And one more for luck. And then we'll just start to swish our arms forwards and backwards. And as you do this, if you're standing, let your hips go forwards, let your hips go back. Let your knees soften a little. Now, if you're doing this seated, I really like doing this with wider legs seated, right on the edge of the chair. That's it. And we're keeping a straight back for this one. But you can start to send your chest upwards. So you might get this extension into your back when your back goes into a little bit of a back bend, but we're trying not to curve over at any point. Just sending the chest up and then leaning a little forwards. If that's a little too much for you, just come forwards, put your hands on your legs, and then send your hands up, or you could put them on your chest and send your chest up, and come forwards with your hands on your legs there. And that'll just act as sort of brakes and stabilizers. That's it. And last one. And then if you're seated, I want you to sit with your legs 2 fists apart, a bit of a gap between them, and right on this front third of your chair, and place your hands either like they're flat stop hands, or you can just rest them, but they're forwards. This is your all fours position. You're going to move your leg out and in. Maybe 3 or 4 on one side, 3 or 4 on the other. If you're comfortable coming down to an all fours position, you can do this in all fours. So this is our little reindeer pose for today. I thought we'd do a few seasonal moves. We've done drinks on a tray, you know, the cocktail party. So if you're comfortable in all fours, and there's lots of ways to modify this. You can modify it for the wrists by increasing the padding under your hands. You can also fold your mat at the back for your knees. My knees are okay, my hands not so much. But you could also take it against a table, something that doesn't move. Send your bum back a little so your legs are straight. And then trying to lift one leg away. That's it. And we're trying not to move the body like that, just trying to move one leg away. And we'll do a few one way, and then we'll swap over to the other side. And then I'd like to have a little turn round as if you're looking for a tail and your bum is trying to show you the tail. Now, if you're doing this seated, you're looking around like that and looking like that. If you're doing this on the floor, little bum wiggle, just checking. It's like you're swishing a tail. You can give it a swish, swish, swish. You can look and see if your tail's still there. That's it. And then if you want to go down to a lying down surface, either on your floor, on your bed, this is the time. So take yourself downwards. You can also keep yourself in a chair. I'm going to switch between the floor and my sofa. That's it. And first thing is to get yourself really comfy. So if you're in your chair, sit right back. Your back against the chair back. You could have a cushion behind you. That's really nice to make yourself comfortable, but also for a little bit of feedback on your back ribs. If you're on the floor, first taking your time getting down there. There's no hurry. Never a hurry. Always do it in your own time. But when you're there, get yourself comfy. Have a little wriggle around. I always like a sway, particularly of my hips and my back of my pelvis, my sacrum. And then I'd like you to rest your hands on your belly. And just like we did our ho, ho, ho breath, we're going to do it in a different position. So seated, you're going to have to be right back against your chair, maybe leaning back a little, lying down right against your mat or mattress, so that your back has got some feedback from whatever surface you're lying on. Send the breath into your sides, your side waist, like you've got a belt on. I'm going to keep my hands on my belly for this one, but you could put your hands there. So it's just like you're trying to make yourself wider and trying to fill the sides of a belt. And then we're going to go like you're fogging up a mirror, or you're trying to see your breath on a cold day. Breath in through your nose. Fill the sides. Maybe your back as well. And then 3 of those sort of foggy breaths. And again. And then if you're lying down, imagine a tray on your belly. Imagine a tiny snowball, perfectly formed, really tightly packed. Quite an icy one, really. And just glide it around the edge of that tray. Roll it round. Now, if you are seated, you're going to be doing this more upright motion. So it's going to be more like a washing machine cycle. Don't like to give you a domestic imagery. Who needs more of that in their life? More domestic task duty. But just think of a washing machine cycle. It could be washing your favourite item that you want to wear for Christmas, or it could be washing cloths like tablecloths and napkins and stuff like that that you've got to get ready. Just getting that little spin going. That's it. And it's slow. Maybe it's a delicate wash. And then take it the other way. Take that snowball the other way. And really feeling through your back, that rocking on your floor, that circular motion, as circular as you can get it. And then resting in the middle, maybe a few pelvic tilts here. That's when you make that triangle shape on your belly. And as you breathe out, you're pulling your belly back from it. And if you're on the floor, you feel the back of your waist, the back of your waistband sort of pull you downwards. If you're in the chair, it's pulling you back towards the back of the chair, and your belly's tightening at the front. Bottom stays nice and relaxed. And your head, you're just looking straight up. One more. And then sneak your arms either out to the sides of the chair, so you're holding onto your seat, or out to a T sort of shape. I'm not quite up here as a T, so I'm just a little bit sloped down, more like a Christmas tree. And take your legs wider, so there's space between your knees and your feet. Now let your knees sway. That's it. And your feet can push. You're keeping your shoulders and your head at the moment where they are. That's it. If you're on the chair, it's just your lower body. Now let your head roll the opposite way if you're lying down. Really roll rather than forcing. We're not trying to twist suddenly, we're just rolling. And if you're sitting up, a gentle turn to look the opposite way to your knees. Then come back to the center. I'd like you to take anything out from under your head. If you're seated, I'd like you to do some pelvic tilts. Maybe you could do them with your legs together and your heels just off the floor, or with your feet down, but keep your legs squeezed together. Could even put a cushion between your leg. If you're lying down, and we're going to go into some bridges, warm up the spine, Santa spine bridges. So just starting to pelvic tilt first, and then push into your feet downwards, and start to curl your bum up, and then lift this whole hip and belly area straight up. And then you're going to drip, drip, drip your spine down. That's it. Go again. Breathing in. Breathing out, tilt. Push down to the feet. The knees feel like they're traveling forwards and your hips are going up. And then melting, dripping down. This time, hands go together like a little prayer. Push them against each other, straight-ish arms, like you're pointing up towards something. Or if you're seated, like you're pointing ahead. And the same bridge, but with your arms there. Your shoulders sort of resting against the floor. They can lift up a little if you want to. You could do them up and down when you're at your highest point. But most of the time they're resting, just pressing towards each other. If that feels like too much, leave your arms down. If you're doing this seated, push my arms towards you. I'm upright. I'm going to bring my legs together. I'm going to lift my heels up as I tilt back. And as I roll forwards, my heels go down. Breathing out, pelvic tilt. Breathing in, placing my feet down. Might have a little wiggle in between, last one. Lovely. Now, if you're seated, I want you to take your legs in and out, maybe one leg and the other, with your hands on top. If you're lying down, I'd like you to bring your knees into your chest. You can bring your cushion back as well. Keep your feet together and stir your knees in circles. We're getting a little bit of a rocking massage motion on our sacrum, our lower back. That's it. So you can keep things quite still, make it little. I quite like this almost bouncy rocking because I like the massage right on the back of my pelvis. That's it. And then I'd like you to place your feet down. So we've all got our legs down, roughly a 90-degree sort of angle. If you're seated, this next movement is going to rotate just your ribs around. If you are lying down, we are going to make this a little bit bigger. But let's see how this goes first. Lifting one arm either ahead if you're seated or up if you're lying down. Look at the thumbnail. Now you're going to move that thumbnail to one side. Let your body follow it. And then to the other side. Little rock. Could even do it both thumbnails together, both thumbs together. Now, how far do you want to go? You might go right the way. I'm keeping that little gap between my legs. Or you might keep it really small. Keep going with that if you're lying down. If you're seated, work with one. Your legs are going to stay where they are. In fact, let's take the legs wider for seated. And then just follow that thumb. And then bring it back to the centre. Let's do 2 one way. Swap hands to the other. Now, if you've got osteoporosis, you can turn. Just keep it really gentle. Don't force it. None of us should be forcing it. If you haven't got osteoporosis, you might find that following your thumb, you can actually go further than you normally do. And then let's have a little wiggle. I'm going to take myself down here again. We're going to have a little stretch out. So stretching your arms out, stretching your legs out. Now, if you're seated, wide legs. If you're lying down, wide legs. Now, what do you fancy with the arms? Well, you choose. Are they wide? Are they pushing away from you? Are they going upwards for that long body stretch? Oh, that feels quite nice. I think my favourite, I like my arms sort of down by my sides in a star sort of shape. If I was seated, I quite like to push them away from me when I'm on a chair, but we're all different. So just have a little stretch here and then soften. Oh, flop. Let your head have a little roll, or your shoulders have a little wriggle up and down. And then stiffen everything, reach it away, breathe in. And as you breathe out, let it melt. Let's wiggle our feet around. So circling from the heel, like you're trying to draw a circle with your heel. Now, if you're seated, you'll need to take your leg forwards for this. Or lift your leg off the floor. So you might be scooping your leg up and sort of holding it up here like that if you're seated. But drawing a circle with the heel. Or as circly, curvy shape as you can get. And then same with the other side. I go a little bit one way, a little bit the other, and then I might go for a full one. Again, clunks and clicks, very common for these areas. That's it. And then, could you bring your legs, bend them back, feet down on the floor, bring your arms back in. If you are lying down, you might use that thumb roll to roll yourself onto your side and push yourself up. And we're all seated now. So you're either seated on the edge of a sofa, a bed, a chair, or we're seated on the floor. I'm going to treat myself to a little cushion underneath. And then just some gentle shoulder shrugs. Less than you can. Not right up by your ears for earrings, just little ones. Like a little up and down, little up and melt. And then one of my favourites for this time of year, jumper off, jumper on. So like you're trying to take a jumper off and then like you're putting it back on again. Taking it off. Breath in. Breath in, yeah, breath in. And breath out, that's what I was trying to say as I put it back on again. Definitely need the rest for Christmas. Breathing in. And putting it back on, keeping cozy. Give yourself a little hug and a rock. Take your palms out to the side for the last time for 2024. Scoop your hands together. Bring your hands to your chest. Thank yourselves. Thank you, Virtual Village Hall. Thank you to my regulars who come here so often. It's a pleasure to have you here. So Irene, Jackie, Jean and Christine today, and it's often you ladies, I know, and anyone else who's here. I hope you have a lovely, lovely time the next couple of weeks, whether it's quiet, whether it's frantic and busy. Think how you like it. It doesn't have to be like everybody else's. Bit of rest, bit of recuperation. Have a good one. I shall see you in January. I think we're back the first Wednesday in January. Bye bye.